I started making cookies around 1970, I think, because I made them for 5 years before I sold them. And I had a client, her name was Sherry Summers.
I'm a file clerk.
And she was wonderful little actress. We finished our meeting, and she busted out some chocolate chip cookies. I hadn't had any homemade cookies in a long time. My Aunt Della used to send them to me when I was in the Air Force. I was stationed here in Hawaii. When I tasted them, memories just rushed to my head. And I said, Sherry, where'd you get these cookies from? She says, it's just the Nestle Toll House chocolate chip recipe. So as soon as the meeting was over, I went to the nearest supermarket. I went around the store, got all the ingredients, man. I went home, started making cookies right away because I was really excited. I'd go to meetings and I would take cookies to meetings with me. So I used cookies as my calling card, literally. I developed a nice reputation in Hollywood for making chocolate chip cookies that really tasted great. Chocolate chip cookies was my calling. There's a shelf somewhere in this cosmic world that has what each of you, or each of us, meant to do, be. And the shelf for chocolate chip cookies had my name on it.
Be honest, when you were plowing through that bag of Famous Amos cookies, did you ever contemplate anything more than, me want more cookies? Did you ever wonder if there was a real baker named Amos? Of course not. Thinking and savoring chocolate chips just don't mix. And that's okay. That's why we're here. I'm Jeff McIntyre, and that's Jay Smith. Up until 2015, I too never gave the brand nor the man a second thought. Honestly, I could care less about packaged cookies. But that changed when my buddy Jay moved to Honolulu and crossed paths with the cookie legend. So we started rolling on his life in Hawaii, learning about his remarkable past and surprising present.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and jammers, Cookie Man is in the place. So I first came here in the Air Force, and I was stationed at Hickam Air Force Base, 1954 to 1957, and I loved Hawaii. All right, here we go, here we go.
Wally hasn't been Famous Amos for almost 30 years, but here in Hawaii, where he's lived for almost 4 decades, it's like time has stood still. Everywhere we go, Wally is treated like the honorary mayor of Honolulu.
I thought you were going to put your shirt on. Oh, you are putting your shirt. I want to see your naked stomach.
It's not a stomach, it's a belly. Big belly, man.
Big belly.
Why, sir?
The thing that I always loved about Hawaii, and still do, I always loved the people, the energy, the aloha spirit, the way people treat you. All right, God does.
I wish you success in everything you do.
Thank you, man. Thank you. All right, keep running, keep running. Don't let them catch you. The essence of aloha is really love. Give me some elbow, man. Give me some elbow. Give me some elbow, elbow. Woo, woo, woo. And so people share their aloha with you. Yeah.
Powered by pure aloha, it's what keeps the kazoo and kahuna going.
Aloha oi. Aloha oi, y'all. Happy cookie, everybody. Happy cookie.
I can remember Famous Amos.
Yeah.
Right? It's cream-colored package. right? And there's like blue writing across it, something like that, right? I can remember getting them like when I was a kid.
There is tremendous satisfaction in doing something that people really enjoy, that I enjoy. I did a good job developing that. I did a piss poor job losing it. But you know, I'm still alive. And that's what's important. I'm still breathing. So I'm working on Wally Wally. It's a struggle now. I'm a resident again at the YMCA. And I have had no money. I mean, every year, every month, I find that I am short of cash.
But it's still a striking contrast, you have to admit,
Oh,
from
it is.
where you've been to where you are.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
and people think that I'm wealthy, that I just lots of money, and I'm famous. I mean, I'm as famous as the most famous, and I don't have the financial wherewithal that oftentimes goes with being famous. But another thing I discovered, a lot of people who are famous don't have money either. It's all an illusion. We all live in lives that aren't really who we are. And every month I have less money than I need to get through. But somehow or another, I always wind up with enough. I've just come to the conclusion that whatever happens is absolutely supposed to happen, because if it weren't, something else would have happened. I never rehashed the past. If I'd done this at that, you got what you got because you did what you did.
Right.
And that's it. I didn't know what I was going to do when I got out of the Air Force. And I was working at Saks Fifth Avenue, just unloading trucks and stuff. But I wasn't making any money. And my wife was pregnant, had a child, and I needed to make more money. The opportunity to work at the William Morris Agency showed up. I didn't know anything about show business. I mean, zilch. But I loved it, and you start there in the mailroom. I realized that to advance out of the mailroom, I needed to have typing and shorthand. Rather than go to lunch, I'm in the mailroom, I'd set up a typewriter and I'd practice my typing. And I'm not afraid to work hard, not afraid to show initiative. I just wound up being the first African-American agent at the William Morris office. This is the Supremes. I was the first agent to book the Supremes, you know? By the time that tour ended, the Supremes were a hit. It was Diana Ross, Mary. I forget Mary's last name, but I had a little crush on Mary. We used to fool around a little bit, so I can't remember her last name now. Anyway, I signed Simon and Garfunkel. I was the first agent to sign Simon and Garfunkel. I worked with Marvin Gaye, and that worked out very well for me in later years because Marvin became one of the initial investors in Famous Amos Cookies. I've never known why it was cookies. The reality is, cookies wound up being my calling.
Made with real Famous Amos, that's me. Chocolate chip cookies. It's cookie-licious.
I'm in the cookie business because my mother and father got a divorce, and she decided that she and I would move. She would move to Orlando, Florida, and at the age of 12, I would move to New York to live with Aunt Della. Living with Aunt Della was a treat because Ruby was a disciplinarian. Aunt Della was just the opposite. Aunt Della was loving, Aunt Della was fun. But the pivotal part of that story is that it was Aunt Della that first made chocolate chip cookies for me. I'd never eaten a chocolate chip cookie. before Andela. My mother never made cookies. I can so remember sitting in that little small kitchen and her mixing up a batch of chocolate chip cookies, Toll House cookies. Ooh, wow. That had a direct impact on my going into the cookie business, because if she hadn't given me that experience, there never would have been a cookie from Wally Amos.
In 1970, he left William Morris in New York to launch his own talent management shop in Los Angeles. For 5 years, he blankets Hollywood with his signature cookie. He is the Cookie Man. Then, in 1974, a dinner on the Sunset Strip with Quincy Jones's secretary, B.J. Gilmore, changes everything.
She commented, she says, you know, you and I should open a store selling chocolate chip cookies. I didn't even question it. It was one of those moments that, yes, it made so much sense, man. And I woke up the next morning, and from then till now, that's all I thought about. But I didn't have any money. I needed $25,000, and I'm almost begging, because, I mean, I'm frightened, and I've got this cookie company I gotta get going, and how the heck am I gonna do it without money?
Thankfully, Wally had something better than cash. He had a Rolodex made of gold. What's that? What's a Rolodex? Well, it's this wheel that had index cards on it with people's names and phone numbers. It was kind of like a prehistoric contacts app. Anyway, Wally's initial investors were quite the who's who of the music biz. Marvin Gaye kicked in $5,000, singer Helen Reddy and her manager Jeff Wald put up $10,000, and super agent Artie Mogul, who discovered Bob Dylan, Olivia Newton-John, and Hootie and the Blowfish, he even invested.
So there's a couple names there I want to throw your way. Oscar Brown Jr.
I was managing Oscar Brown Jr. He was exceptionally talented. I mean, he was legendary jazz singer. I think Oscar was the first person to ever call me famous. He just said, "God damn, Famous Amos." I mean, just so throwing it away, you know, like that. But then when we were looking for a name, I mean, Famous Amos was a natural. Cookies, who will try my chocolate chip cookies?
So over 40 years later, in a Costco on Oahu, Wally's sticking to the game plan that made Amos famous. He's hooking people on his latest venture, Cookie Kahuna, and no one sells cookies better than this guy.
Stop! You have to have a cookie, otherwise you can't go into Costco. Have a cookie. It will enhance your beauty. In 2015, I started Cookie Kahuna. You know, I mean, I'm destined to be selling cookies. The roots are digging into the ground and extending with this. Got a commitment from Costco here in Hawaii, the top location. Cookies, cookies, cookies. Nothing beats the original. Okay. I am the original. Okay. Take a bite of Wally. Cookie time, cookie time. And the miraculous thing is, people remember the taste. That's me! Oh, I love you. Not only remember it, but they're buying them. Which means they still want to eat that cookie, which is the original cookie that I created 40 years ago in Hollywood, California. The first chocolate chip cookie store in the world, I opened that March 10th, 1975.
Wally blanketed Hollywood with 2,500 invitations. He even had glossy headshots made of his new pecan and chocolate chip studded client. It was the must-attend party of 1975.
It is un-American not to like chocolate chip cookies. We need them to sustain ourselves, you know, to get from one day to the next in this world of frustrations and wars and fights. We need chocolate chip cookies so we can all come together and have a good time, right? All right! Amen.
I had such a huge opening We stopped traffic on Sunset Boulevard. It was a monumental opening. It was just such a high.
How surprised were you by that turnout?
Well, I was surprised, but I wasn't really surprised. I mean, there were people selling chocolate chip cookies and bakeries and stuff, but there was no one that sold just chocolate chip cookies. I was the first person that did that.
That was risky, not to have a clean business model in place, that we had examples of others.
But I didn't even know about a business model. And then that's stuff that people make up, you know? I'd had 5 years of testing. I'd been giving cookies away for 5 years and had built a reputation within the entertainment industry for making the best tasting chocolate chips ever. And I decided to sell them. It was not a giant step. It was just common sense.
Oh boy, 1975 was a good year to open the world's first cookie store. Wally moved $300,000 in cookies.
If you want to make it big in the West, you've got to be too good to resist.
And Wally made Famous Amos irresistible. In 1976, a friend took some cookies to the execs at Bloomingdale's in New York. They loved them. And soon after, Wally had to open a factory in New Jersey to satisfy growing demand.
Aloha, cookie fiends. Christmas greetings from me, Famous Amos, freshly baked at Bloomingdale's.
A serious Famous Amos craze was sweeping the country. The cookies were regarded as the cookie of the jet set and the first celebrity cookie. In 1977, Wally drops Bloomingdale's for Macy's, a brilliant marketing move. His cookies would now be on parade for 20 million television viewers.
I did the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade for 7 years in a row, I think. I'd been raised in New York and went to the parade as a kid. Then my children I took to the parade, and now here I am in the parade, man. It was so cool.
By 1979, Wally was in command of a massive operation. The factories were churning out 7,000 pounds of cookies every day. By 1982, boom, revenues hit 12 million. He was a household name. He had his own TV show and was on a lot of other ones.
When I first met Wally Famous Amos and made him my official cousin.
Famous Amos! I don't believe it.
What's happening, Latka?
Show business was that was who I was.
Eggs are great. In fact, I never bake cookies without them. And do you know how to make sure the eggs are fresh? Just look for the California fresh egg symbol.
So the one thing I knew how to do was promote.
I'm on your refrigerator, I'm in your pantry, I'm in your desk drawer, I'm in a supermarket, I'm in convenience stores, I'm in department stores, I'm in service stations, I'm in airports, I'm on television. That's what makes Amos famous.
I was the talk of the land.
Growing up in the segregated South, fame was the last thing on a young Wallace Amos's mind.
I was born in Tallahassee, Florida, July 1st, 1936. It was very segregated. You name it, and there we were in it, living in a segregated neighborhood, riding a segregated bus. Every level of discrimination was enacted.
Okay, listen up, cookie fiends. Now we're putting Famous Amos chocolate chip cookies into Louis Sherry ice cream. You're gonna love it.
So you fast forward to the 70s, here you are, black man in America, starting a business. How rare was that to achieve such success at that time in our history?
I never thought about the color of my skin. I never thought about not being able to do it. I was focused on opening a store selling cookies.
In 1980, Wally's trademark hat and shirt were inducted into the Smithsonian's Business Americana collection. Turns out, Wally was the first African-American businessman to be represented in the collection. People magazine proclaims Famous Amos the best chocolate chip cookie in America in 1983. And in 1986, President Reagan honors Wally with one of the first Entrepreneurial Excellence Awards.
It's the Wally Amos Show!
I don't think anyone told Ronnie, but a year before, in 1985, Wally's company had lost $300,000. Revenues were slipping, and Wally's empire crumbling. In order to save his sweet cookie, he started selling off parts of the business to investors. But by doing so, Wally lost more equity and control of it. A decade after launching the world's first cookie store, being dubbed the father of the gourmet cookie, Wally had lost it all and was now just an employee pitching the very cookie that launched a revolution. By 1988, Famous Amos had lost $2.5 million, and the Shansby Investment Group picked it up for $3 million. Incredibly frustrated, Wally walks away a year later.
I was never a business guy, though.
Well, why don't you do that?
Sitting and starting.
All right? You coordinate that.
I never knew the dynamics of business. Well, I just thought I was in charge. I thought I knew everything. I thought I was hot shit. And with that attitude, you discover you're not. Because you have so much success and people singing your praises and telling you this and that, and it's not true. But you didn't have the insight or the depth to realize that.
Ready? And action. Dr. Chips here, dispensing some of my tasty medicine. Bump, bump, bump. Ooh, what you need is a cute little bag of my kind with magnets. Oh, for your cold, a sweet little sack of pecans. All right. Oh, open wide. All right. Hey, ta-da, ta-da. Thank you very much. Ooh, a big cookie for a big girl. Strictly preventative medicine, of course. Want to feel better fast? Get some Famous Amos cookies at your favorite store today. Just what the doctor ordered.
You admitted that you were more into the show than into the business.
Yeah.
Yes.
What have you picked up over the years on the business side?
Well, it's important. It's important, and I wasn't capable. I needed people that knew the business and that understood the business. And I never could, and I pretended I could because I had the final say. You know, I made some really horrible decisions that didn't help me, but in one way or another ultimately caused me to lose the company.
Now, the Shansby Group did turn the business around by slashing manufacturing costs and ending licensing deals. They also lowered the price in order to compete with cookies like Nabisco's Chips Ahoy and Keebler's Chips Deluxe. But their big play was to do something that Wally didn't. You see, until now, Famous Amos wasn't widely available in supermarkets. Shansby needed widespread distribution in order to save the iconic cookie. Now keep in mind, it's the late 80s. Membership stores were thriving. They saved a ton of money on advertising and distribution by getting Famous Amos into these club stores. And their final play, you probably have experienced. They started selling the cookie in vending machines. So, less than a year after launching the new strategy, in 1991, sales were up to $42 million. Holding the company long term was never Shansby's goal. No, they wanted to quickly breathe dollars back into the battered brand and then flip it. Flush with chips, in 1992, they sell to President Baking for $61 million. 9 years later, Kellogg's picks it up, and in 2019, sells the company. Wally started in 1975 with $25,000 in loans from Marvin Gaye and other famous friends. They sell Famous Amos and the Keebler brand for $1.3 billion. Today, the cookie biz has never been sweeter. Annually, the U.S. consumes $6.1 billion of the tasty treats.
How do you think things may have been different if you were more of a numbers guy, more focused on?
But I wouldn't start the company. I don't play those tricks. When a customer bites down in a cookie, the only thing that matters is that that cookie tastes good.
If you're giving them away for free, yes.
No, even if you're selling them.
But numbers matter, I think.
Yeah, numbers matter, but if you're selling them and they don't taste right and they're not right, then you're going to get bad numbers. That's common sense. You know?
But Look at the flip side, though. Famous Amos today, admittedly, and a lot of people say this, and I know you agree, they don't taste like they did, but they're still making a lot of money.
But that doesn't, because they don't taste good, doesn't prove you can't sell them for cash. Big deal, you know. But I don't want to sell a product that doesn't taste good. I have no control over that cookie at all, and have not for a long, long time. And I don't give a damn what it tastes like. I mean, I don't. Not my business. My business. Let's see if I can come back one more time with a cookie that tastes the way I want it to taste, and then that one won't even exist.
It's cookie time, folks. Have a cookie.
Because taste in food, taste is king. And if mine tastes good, you're not gonna go to that one just because it's a name. You can't eat the name. You can only eat the product. And if you like the way the taste product, nothing else matters. Give me some taste. I think the cookie kahuna, at the rate we're going, at the exposure that we're getting now, if we add to that exposure, then, I mean, Famous Amos will just be a distant memory. And Cookie Kahuna will be huge. And Wally Amos, I might be able to use my name.
Sorry to interrupt the call, but this is major. Probably the most damning part of losing Famous Amos was Wally losing the right to use his own name or image to promote any future baked good company. That's a massive blow. But to be fair, he did sign the agreement.
Well, the terms of the agreement stated that I could not use the name Famous Amos or Wally Amos. Years ago, when I had Famous Amos and Famous Amos sued me, that came about because I had started Chip and Cookie. And when I first started Chip and Cookie, I said Wally Amos presents Chip and Cookie. That was what got me in trouble, because they owned the rights to the name Wally Amos.
Yes, the Shansby Group sues, charging Wally with unfair competition and trademark infringement. A federal judge in 1992 bars Amos from using his name, likeness, voice, or signature to sell the new cookies.
You couldn't even use your own God-given name.
Right. But you know, I mean, I created that. I signed stuff and I lost the company, and so, you know, but right now I'm just working to sell what we got and working to pay my bills every day.
But at the time you were signing that and you saw that clause, what did you think?
You know, I didn't think anything. I didn't give it any credence, really. I was not a good steward. I didn't have good advice, and other people were making decisions, and I made wrong decisions. Thanks, Sway. Love you a lot, man. Appreciate you. Bye-bye. I just get disappointed and I get pissed off when, you know, a history from Famous Amos shows up. Yeah.
That history brings some baggage, it sounds like.
Well, it does, you know. Not being able to use my name brings a lot of baggage. So, it's restrictions on me personally. I mean, you know. But, tell you the hand that's dealt you. The idea is to keep moving, you know. Hard to hit a moving target.
Despite the roadblocks, and we're talking decades of them, Wally's hunger for entrepreneurship and cookies hasn't wavered a bit.
I've had Weymouth, I've had the cookie guy, I've had the cookie man. Finally became upon the cookie kahuna.
And that's only a partial list of his cookie companies. One business name even poked fun at his legal troubles.
Uncle No Name, which was no name, sounded like Japanese, but it just said no name. Because there's always a way you do it, you know, and sometimes it was painful, but I made it fun. Because you can't cry over spilt milk. You can't cry or regret what you don't have. You got to do something different.
40 years ago, did you think at 80 you'd still be having to be moving this much?
I've been moving for a long time. I'm actually tired of moving. You know, it's just a lot of stuff. But there's something inside of me. I mean, what will I do if I quit? Stay in this room? I mean, that's not an option, man. No, not an option at all. So you got to keep going. I think I should probably take a shower.
Apparently, this interview is keeping him from moving to his next stop, the taping of a commercial for a local car dealer.
I want to wear this shirt. All I wanted before was material stuff and suits and fancy clothes and all that stuff. I'll do that. But I had this thing, man, that I began to think that I was important because I was Famous Amos. I really began to see how I had been sabotaging myself without even knowing it.
Fry off, Wally. I'm only shooting the head up, from the neck up.
I was shooting my ass then. I came to the conclusion that Famous Amos was a trap because it set me up to think I was someone that I wasn't. And you discover that there's not enough stuff to make you feel good about you. Life's an inside job. I want to be consistently positive in what I say, think, and do. And I want to treat people with love and with respect. I'll be long gone. I mean, I was not always a good husband, wasn't always a loyal, truthful husband to my wives. During those years, it was just a total disrespect for my wife, for my children, you know? But that's who I was. I put the final touch on that.
What kind of aftershave is that?
Sweetness. Allure. I use allure. Never works, but I still use it. But it keeps me from smelling bad, which is what it's supposed to do. A little under there. Don't show my armpits. The questions I ask myself is, what really matters? I think love matters a lot.
Friends, we are here this afternoon to support two beloved individuals who are already one in spirit, Wally and Carol, as they celebrate their marriage.
Whoa, didn't see that one coming, did you? In the spirit of love mattering, at 80, Wally marries his fifth wife, Carol, a woman he'd known for less than 2 months. But it was a beautiful service.
I bless you in the name of love. You may now seal this union with a kiss. Keep soft home.
How you guys feeling?
I feel really good. Absolutely. Perfect. That's a good word. Nothing could be added to it in this moment. It's really just terrific. That relationship was destined not to succeed from the very beginning because the two of us just didn't match. All right. Okay. Cover up this belly. And what's happening with Carol and I, we're moving into a place of a real nice relationship, friendship. So she's going to work with me and she's going to be a really critical piece of the cookie kahuna. Well, let me come closer. I think that's it.
So he and Carol focus all their energies on growing Cookie Kahuna. And nothing can propel a new business to new heights like an appearance on ABC TV's business-themed competition show, Shark Tank. And you gotta give it to her. It was Carol who convinced Wally to send in an application.
And I didn't want to do the show. Because there was a lot of stuff, and they put you through so many hoops, man. So many hoops to do that show. And I didn't want to go through all of that. I'm already famous. I'll just be famous doing what I'm doing. And I think, you know, I mean, If Carol had not persisted, I wouldn't have done it.
Cookies. They bring joy to a lot of people.
It's a fun show. It's a good show. It's an informative show because the guys, the sharks, they're really business people.
Well, what did you learn from the Famous Amos experience that maybe you did different with Cookie Kahuna?
I didn't do anything different. I mean, but the whole thing was different. I mean, there were other cookie companies out there by then, and everything was different.
The cookie landscape now is so dense compared to when you launched originally.
There is, but you know, if you're the best in the bunch, you stand up. You stand out. Yeah, that doesn't matter. Competition does not keep you from selling.
Since day one, it's Wally's personality that's helped sell cookies.
Ho, ho, ho! Santa Chip's here with a big sack of presents. Have you been a good little girl? Here's a big bag of cookies with pecans.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas! And for Santa's helper, a sweet little stuffing stocker. This is my original cookie. This is the product that made me famous.
Quality, taste-wise, I'm going to always be up here. Nobody's ever going to taste a cookie that Wally Amos made and spit it out.
And what was the reaction from the crowd at Costco?
No, it's always positive.
When it's cookie time in Costco and Evil, everybody come around wanting to buy stuff. Get your cookies here. Cookies, cookies, cookies.
I'll make them laugh. I'll do something to get their attention in a positive, fun way.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Until I get them to taste the cookie. Then I don't have to jump hoops anymore. Because when they taste the cookie, they know it's a Wally cookie. You can taste Wally's cookies. And if it tastes like what Wally used to make, then I'm gonna take me a bag home.
I'll have to buy a bag in order to
Oh no, she's gonna buy a bag. Oh, I feel guilty now because she ate it and she liked it and it's all my fault. Oh.
So getting the cookies, take the picture, to finalize the artwork, no typos.
That's Stacy, Cookie Kahuna's CEO.
Then I put in the PO 7 weeks before the bags get here.
After Wally submits his Shark Tank audition video in May 2016, the team strategizes next steps in case Wally takes a dip with the Sharks.
I got disagreements with my partner, but you know, he's a good guy. He's just a very strict guy, but I'm not his kid. Sometimes he treats me like I'm his kid, you know. Make a mistake and he'll punish me for the rest of the month, you know. Damn.
There are a little over 8,000 8-ounce bags sitting at Seattle Gourmet Foods right now.
But he's a good guy and he's kept this company alive, really.
Something you said, you feel that maybe the cookie business has changed, but you haven't. What do you mean by that?
I had an incredible success, but that was then, and same actions now might not get me the same results.
This is my destination, KITV. Now I'm gonna go in one last time to see how much more exposure I can get. All right.
Wally's a regular at KITV. It's the local ABC affiliate in Honolulu, and they love talking cookies.
Here, I'll show you what we got here.
What you got? Show me what you got.
So this is the studio. We do our morning and evening news in here.
I've done a little work in this one.
That's why we had you over here. This is where we do the weather. And so when the weather person stands right here, the computer will put up the weather map right behind her. So, you want to try it out?
Oh, I'd love to. I found this really so interesting to live spontaneously, and whatever comes up comes out. Whatever desire I have to do, I go do it, you know. I'm surprised that I can still laugh. I really am, because it's been some rough times. I haven't made any money, and you know, it hasn't been the easiest. But you know, God never said it would be easy. All out. I wanna do is have some fun. I'm not for certain, I'm not the only one. All I want, I just love laughing. It is the best medicine. It's a way of taking the stupidity out of everything. It really is. And you reduce it to nothing and you see, what am I angry about? For what? If you can't sell cookies, go do something else. I mean, if you can't do what you want to do, go do something else. Ah! I am ready for the beach. Surf's up! Surf's up! Up north, they're like 7 to 10. Over the east, they're 2 to 4. But know that it's 80 degrees in one part of the world and it's another 78 over here. And so that's the weather report. I'm gonna leave now. Hey, bye, y'all. See you next time.
Today, I mean, everyone knows you. But how does that feel when you walk down the street or the beach? Now, Wally Amos.
It feels fine. It's a great satisfaction in it.
But you're known, I mean, nationally, globally, for a product that still hangs in vending machines that you don't have anything to do with.
That's so what? That's what it is. You can't live in the past, man.
No, I know, but how does that feel, just the fact that your original invention and intention lives on? That fact.
That's okay.
It's a legacy, in a way.
I think legacies are overrated.
Why?
I'll die and leave that and it won't mean anything. I mean, it's something you did. That's gone. What do you do now? And one thing that I do now and work on it, not as much as I'd like to do it, but I like reading aloud to children. Reading is the foundation of life. If you can read, then you can control every aspect of your life. Ah! Oh, hey, Sonny.
Hey, Sonny.
Guess who I am? I'm the story man. I'm the book man. My first involvement with literacy was adult literacy, where I became a spokesperson for literacy volunteers in America.
When you have reading skills, it's hard to understand what it's like to be unable to read. This is what a stop sign looks like to 1 in 5 adults who cannot read.
In '79, literacy really wasn't being promoted. Remember when I said Wally's lived a life of firsts?
I'm Wally Amos, asking you to help stop illiteracy.
Well, Wally was the first celebrity to take it on, and every opportunity to promote his cookies was a chance to talk about literacy. For 24 years, he traveled the country, speaking to millions on behalf of literacy volunteers and the American Library Association. In 1990, President Bush honored him for his work.
And your greatest contribution to your country is not your signature straw hat in the Smithsonian, but the people you have inspired to learn to read. We thank you, Wally Amos.
Those who will rule the future will be those who love reading. And that's the truth, guys. Reading to kids, man, it's just, and then seeing them sprout and grow and become better citizens. And you'll feel stuck on your track and think, I wish that was me flying up there. You know, at the age you are now, if you're gonna wish you'll be something, save that energy and just work on doing it, because by the time you know it, you'll be old enough to do it. There's nothing I've come across that feels better than that. It's a real great use of my time. My legacy will live on, not for cookies, but for thousands and millions of children that I help create an interest in learning and reading aloud and being a better person. That's what I want to do. Not how many cookies I sold. That's nothing. How many lives did I change?
For cookies and literacy, Shark Tank could be the game changer Wally's been waiting for over 40 years.
But I'm excited about selling cookies, because selling cookies is going to help me sell literacy.
In May 2016, the news breaks. He's going to Hollywood to meet the sharks.
It's incredible. I mean, it's just phenomenal.
And those sharks move fast. A month later, Wally's in the tank shooting his episode.
I was so nervous. There's like 9 million people that watch that show. That's a lot of people.
After shooting his episode, Wally returns to Honolulu and is overcome with stress.
Oh my God, I'm not dressed.
And is admitted to the hospital for chest pains.
I'm not stressing out over any of this stuff. And, you know, it sneaks up on me. I know better, but I get so absorbed in this cookie business and the fact that we are not selling cookies. And I know all of this is just a part of God's plan. But this just makes, this is about my life. It's not about me. It's not about cookies. This is about Wally's life. And I ain't got but one. I can make lots of cookies. I can't make another life. So.
You're the best husband in the world.
His then-wife, Carol, is at his side.
Now, there's a few things that I might want to do something about from time to time. But unlike those few times, then it's definitely you're worthwhile. You're worth all of the aggravation and all of the upset, all of the agony. It's all worth it.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You start. No, thank you very much.
But I just love everything about you. I know it's tough. Just breathe it all in, honey. Breathe it all in.
I don't like everything about me. Where's my kazoo? You know, I left the house and didn't bring a kazoo.
I think I have one in my purse. But I don't know if this is a good idea to put it in, play it in the hospital though, honey.
Going home today again.
Less than 2 weeks after he's released, the inevitable comes knocking on a door he's called home for over 20 years. Months behind on rent, he's got to move out.
There's more cartons outside.
And without any substantial income, his living options are pretty limited. Right about now, he and Carol are on the outs, and affordable housing here is near impossible. However, Wally does manage to find a new pad.
My new home, YMCA. YMCA. I'm gonna live in the YMCA. Oh my God. You know, I've never been in one of the rooms at the Y. I love the Y though. I've been a member for a long time. I was on the board of directors for a long time. Great organization. What is it you're doing? He's doing a documentary on me, on my life. And this is a critical part of my life, moving into the Y. There's a bag of cookies for you.
Right there, and then today's date is 9/29/16.
Stacy, aloha, this is Wally. I'm checking in to the YMCA. Carol and I are separated, and I'm headed for a divorce. And I'm going to stay at the YMCA until I get on more solid ground. Welcome to Wally's room. And you know what? This is perfect. I don't need any more than this. You know? I know that in time I'll be helping the Y a great deal. And right now the Y is helping me a great deal. So I feel really good. New beginning. Wow, this Shark Tank, it is the promotion of all promotions. I've never seen any promotion that was so thorough as Shark Tank.
October 7th, 2016. Days after Wally moves into the YMCA, he gears up to do what's baked into his DNA. Promote the Shark Tank episode that's airing later tonight.
Good morning, KITV.
Good morning, KITV. This is COOKIE.
Oh, perfect. Okay, we'll let you in.
And no radio or TV station is safe.
Morning, y'all.
You look like you look so, there's a guy right behind you.
Oh my God, it scared the hell out of me. You know what it's like to turn around and see yourself? I mean, I'm everywhere. I'm on television, I'm in the green room, and nothing in here is green. Oh, but look at the cookies. Huh?
You saw the script, listen. The script that Linda sent.
The script?
Yeah.
For what?
What they're gonna ask you?
No, I don't need to know. I don't need to know till they ask. I never have a script. There's no script for life, man. Just show up.
Josue is Cookie Kahuna's marketing guy.
I want you to put your ego, your fame, and you be humble. Just
listen, hold on a second. You don't know me. I've never bragged about being famous.
Just tell me why, and I said, fine. I'm not gonna. I'm just here to give you support.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. They're looking for you.
Hey, sorry. Here you go. There's the napkin and the oil whips. Are you perhaps ready to bring whatever you need and go into the studio?
All we got?
Okay.
Wally Amos, the man behind the delicious Cookie Kahuna cookies, is here with us this morning to talk about a special TV appearance you're making on our channel tonight. You got to the Sharks. Play us out to break. Wally Amos, everybody.
All right.
Thanks again.
Thank you guys so much. So far, so good.
And now he's off to do interviews at 3 different radio stations.
939 The Beat, Seven Rancher, Wally, the big Cookie Kahuna is going to be on the show today.
Coming up next on the 7 Ryan Show, we're going to be talking story with the Cookie Kahuna himself, Wally Amos. Tonight, my favorite television show is on, HR Shark Tank.
Tonight, I'll be on Shark Tank tonight.
I love it.
Shark Tank will air tonight on KITV.
Hold on.
You guys remember Wally from back in the day? Remember Famous Amos Cookies? Remember that?
Can anybody from any socio-economical background do what you did? No. Okay. No.
I'm a high school dropout.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So dropping out of high school doesn't mean you can't succeed. It just means you dropped out of high school.
Okay.
Oh, so you advise anybody on the way to school right now, turn around, go back home?
What Shark Tank is going to do is just put me before everyone. They're going to let the world know now that Wally Amos really is back in the cookie business.
What's your favorite song to play on the kazoo?
All of them.
You realize if you were not Wally Amos, you'd be locked up by now.
Come on, make sure you check out Wally Amos tonight.
Wait, but I'm not ready to go. I'm just getting warmed up. I'm hot now. I gotta take a break. See you later. The thing I've discovered with my life, and really with everybody's life, there is a support in the universe. There is something that when you're at your lowest, it reaches down and it picks you up.
How does this low compare to other lows in your life?
This is the lowest I've ever been. Yeah. And I've been really low. But I'm not I'm not low. I'm not depressed. I do not get depressed because I'm just so happy to be breathing.
What lesson do you think you're supposed to take from the YMCA chapter of your life?
The lesson that I really take from all my experiences is just a quote. Life is never really what it appears to be. It's always more. At my worst, something really great has happened. Who knows what? But things just get so screwed up and looking so helpless. But I always find a way that I can help somebody who's got it worse than I have. And I find that I feel so good when I reach out to help someone else, whoever they are, whatever their condition happens to be. And you need to get out of yourself. You need to get away from you, from thinking you're so important that you need this or you need that. You need to breathe. That's my criteria. I should show my body. There's an ugly body. There's a body that keeps me going, keeps me breathing.
What a day, and Wally's still moving. Quick change into his trademark watermelon shirt, and this 81-year-old rock star is off to the Shark Tank viewing party.
Let's go, Wally's under my arms. We're on our way. Hey, what's happening, guys? What's happening? On the night of the viewing, we held a screening party up at Stacy's place. He rented a little space there with a television, and everybody's watching that.
Congratulations.
On what?
It's happening. It is happening.
It truly is.
Yeah.
First of all, it's just television. You can go up and go down. There's no guarantee that they're gonna love you.
Well, wait, I want a little sugar.
I'm gonna do that. You are buck naked when you go out there.
We're so thankful for this auspicious occasion.
You might leave crying.
And celebrate the blessings of the sharks.
I've got an attitude and enough experience in show business that I know what to do. I just be Wally. And the first and foremost thing they want to do on Shark Tank is to be entertaining. So I knew all of that. I could be entertaining, but I knew also that I could not give them hardcore numbers. I couldn't give them projections, and I couldn't give them all that technical stuff that they needed. But I'd throw them off guard. And that's what I did, you know? Quiet, please. Quiet on the set.
Here we go.
Next up is a new brand from a cookie legend.
I was so nervous. Now, I've been doing this stuff for a really long time, but there's something, that show, there's like 9 million people that watch that show.
Aloha, Sharks. My name is Wally Amos. I'm known as the Cookie Man.
Yes, you are.
Wow. My new company is the Cookie Kahuna, and I am from Honolulu, Hawaii, asking for $50,000. That's chump change for you guys. In exchange for 20%. I looked, and there was Mark Cuban looking at me and telling everybody else, it's Wally Amos. It's Wally Amos.
You are a legend, sir.
Oh, God.
Yes, sir.
Well, so
very impressive.
All of you guys, thank you very much. That's very gracious of you. That just chilled me out, you know, because he recognized and acknowledged who I am with great sincerity. That was a good moment.
Is he the Amos of
Yeah.
Amos?
Yeah.
He's so famous.
Cookies for the sharks! Cookies for the sharks!
They could not have been more friendly. Whatever butterflies I might have had, they flew out the window, and I went out and just started serving cookies to everybody and talking and da-da-da-da.
I like them. Yeah, they're good.
I love a light, crunchy cookie. It's good.
Yeah.
How did you feel when they all turned down the opportunity?
I'd have done the same thing. There was no substance. There was nothing for them to grab onto.
So Wally, the margin you're making once you take in packaging, shipping, and handling is less than 20%.
That's bad.
I knew that would happen. I didn't have a business plan.
Your cost is too high. You have limited distribution. I'm sorry, I'm out. Best of luck.
That's cool.
And I'm perumphering around about this. I didn't know anything about numbers. That's never been my forte.
Here's what went awry here. When you sold your business, you not only sold the name, but you sold your personality along with it. Without that, the business has very little value.
Barbara, what are you going to do? She's going to pass.
Yeah, I'm going to pass, but with great respect.
Right. I knew they weren't going to find anything they could invest in, but in the meantime, everybody that ever watched television saw me.
Come on, Wally, you gotta go.
I felt great because I had been on Shark Tank.
Aloha, guys.
And then it was over. And I'd gotten an enormous amount of exposure. The party's over. It's time to call it a night. That show is going to generate so much stuff. Stuff that we can't even fathom. Yeah. Yeah, the conversation now will not be about Famous Amos. It'll be Cookie Kahuna. That was such a perfect platform to really introduce the Cookie Kahuna to the world. Shark Tank it's an international show. God, they're popular. Long day today, man. Wow. Homeless. Home again. Home again. $599 in the inbox. My customers are spread throughout the United States. That's my security. If I can keep them happy with a good tasting cookie and good service, good friendly service, I can go forever. The business will far outlast me. Yeah. And this Shark Tank thing was so wonderful. It's just so heartwarming. Wow. In October, the next month, they repeated the show again. So I had 18 million people watching this space. It didn't cost me a penny. Didn't cost me a penny. And our sales did a wonderful upturn for a while there also. These are all orders. And the 460 some orders on my little handheld here. Osway goes right into the site. He had 12,000 orders. I mean, and the site is holding up so strong. Thank God, thank God. I mean, it's just, look at that. It's just nothing but cookie orders. Just cookie orders, cookie orders, cookie orders. Oh, wait. Oh boy.
The thread that runs through all of this conversation, cookies have brought so much joy to your life, other people's lives. Yeah. But at the same time, talk to me about how have cookies possibly been a curse?
I don't think they've been a curse, no, because I mean, so much of my life has been connected with the cookies. The work that I've done for reading, for Literacy Volunteers of America, I never could have done the extent of work that I did without cookies. You'll go through tunnels surrounded by dark, and you'll wish for a light or even a spark. Whatever I have done that is meaningful.
Wow!
so much of it is tied to cookies.
No! That's bad! Fantastic!
And it wouldn't have happened without that. I am grateful. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm gonna demonstrate for you how I mix up a special batch of my chocolate chip cookies with pecans. Gotta crack it.
While I believe cookies have been a source of joy for Wally, I still think they've brought an equal amount of pain. About 9 months after the Shark Tank broadcast, Wally walks away from Cookie Kahuna.
I had a partner that he and I just we didn't see eye to eye. And I didn't want to fight with him, so I just stopped. This, a very important ingredient in making cookies. Because I see we aren't doing business, we aren't getting results. 1, 2, 3, dump! I don't feel like arguing with a guy that don't know what he's doing. Doesn't make sense. I'll go do something else. This is the original Toll House recipe. I think the difference comes in with the individual. Every batch of cookies is different because we are all different. Some people never give up. I'm one of those some people. And I think I got one more cookie company in me.
Ha! Bet you didn't see that one coming. Or did you?
This is my new cookie company. Wally Cookie Company. Woo, looks like snow. Woo. This is gonna be my last hurrah. Come on, jump up, brown sugar. Your turn, you've been waiting. You're gonna see this cookie go out laughing and just having such a ball. This is the way we pack our sugar. And the cookies will knock you on your okole. There's so much goodness and so much love. We're gonna dump in the bowl. Whoops! Ah, I love doing that. This will be my final statement. So let's taste this with it. Oh my goodness, nice.
How will Wally be different from every other cookie company you've started?
I don't know. It's because it's different. Because it is different. It's not the same. It's a new cookie company. It's a new energy. It's a new everything. It's raining chocolate. Mix it up, baby. Because. You know, because is a valid answer. Yeah. Because God said so.
In order to launch Wally Cookies, Wally has to leave Hawaii.
I started the Cookie Kahuna, and there's a non-compete clause, and I cannot sell cookies in Hawaii.
Are you still selling cookies though under different?
No, there's a company called Cookie Kahuna.
Oh,
but
that's the one.
I'm not a part of that company.
We gotta take care of Mr. Famous Amos here.
I signed the agreement, and I don't regret signing it because it was the proper thing to do. I had no income. All I was doing was Cookie Kahuna. I gave everything I had for the Cookie Kahuna and got no compensation for it. So the only money I had coming in every month was my Social Security. And that wasn't enough. Aloha, bro, aloha. It doesn't feel good leaving Hawaii. I love Hawaii. I love the people of Hawaii. And so I am not overjoyed that I have to move. But I have to do what I have to do to start this company, Wally Cookies.
So Wally, your bag is tagged all the way from Honolulu to JFK to Charlotte.
Oh, okay. I love selling cookies so much. I don't care where I have to go or what I have to do. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to be successful also. You watch. Yeah, I'm gonna have cookies just flooding the streets.
I'm not happy about you moving. You're part of this island.
I know it.
That.
I know it. I know it. Hawaii's my home.
Yes.
I've been living here for 40 plus years.
I know. Oh, Wally, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. I appreciate all people in Hawaii. Hawaii's my home. I'm just going on the mainland so I can make some money, and it'll be an inspiration for people. You know, you can go through hell and back, but you can still come out winning. There's always room for success. There's always room to turn your act around.
I'm so happy to meet you.
Thank you very much. Well, you tell your friends, all right? Tell your friends that Wally's staging a great comeback with Wally Cookies.
Good.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I think that there's a piece of me in every cookie that anybody's ever bit down on, because I am these cookies. They are a part of me. I am a part of them. That's the bottom line. Into the inferno you go. Baking time. Baking time. Don't be afraid. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. All right. Bake beautiful little cookies. Bake beautiful. I'm so blessed so that God saw fit to bring these cookies into existence through me, through my head, through my ideas, through my Aunt Della, that first made chocolate chip cookies for me when I was 12 years old. I'm 81 years old now. Wow. It's a lot of cookies. A lot of cookies. I've never been concerned about legacy, but if somebody can remember me in a favorable way, then that's cool.
I saw you on the Sharks. Good luck to you.
Oh.
God bless you. I keep you in my prayers.
Oh, thank you so much. You've blessed me with you today. Aloha. He was a nice person. Wally Amos was a caring human being. He cared about other people. He cared a lot. He was here to serve others. And he made a really great cookie. No question about it.